how much of your work is observation and how much of it is pure imagination? I'm not sure there is such a thing as pure imagination. I think that an awful lot of everything is imagination, is observation, because it's the observation that starts the imagination rolling. The place that stories come from is asking yourself questions like, what if only, if this goes on, I wonder whether. And those kind of things tend to start from things that you've seen, things that you've thought about. You know, you're in school, and you sit there and you go, I wonder if our teacher is really a cannibal who is planning to kill and eat one of us this term, and who it is. And that's a story, or at least it's the start of a story. So I don't think there is pure imagination. I think there's always observation at the beginning, because you have to be looking at something to think, wouldn't it be weird if followed out? Was the cat in The Price based on an actual cat you kept? Yeah, actually pretty much all of the story of The Price about the enormous black cat who came out and stayed at us and was fighting a mysterious animal is true, except the fighting with the devil stuff at the end, which I may well have made up. Is your closet color coordinated? It is. On the left of the closet, you have the black clothes. And on the right of the closet, you have the black clothes. And in the middle, I put the black clothes. And it's really simple that way. Do you have a favorite character you have written? That is a rotten question to ask an author. It's like saying, who is your favorite child to a parent? No, I don't. I have a lot of them. I do normally have a favorite character in each book, or whatever. I mean, Silas is pretty obviously my favorite character in the Graveyard book. And who else? There's sort of weird, in Sandman, my favorite characters peculiarly are sort of the odd ones around the edges. People like Merv Pumpkinhead. Just because whenever I sort of start going, come on, that's a bit wanky, isn't it? I can have him come on and go, a bit wanky. What do you do to cure or stave off writer's block? Normally, I write more than one thing at once. I'm still not sure there really is such a thing as writer's block, but I do know there's definitely getting stuck. And it's very easy to get stuck. So if I'm doing two things at a time, or just have something else to work on, at the point where I go, you know, I'm stuck. Instead of spending a week going, I have writer's block, which I don't really believe in. Gardeners never get gardener's block. Cellists do not get cellist block. Shoe salesmen almost definitely do not get shoe salesman's block. So I go off and write something else. And then normally if I've given it a little while to sit, I can go, oh, you know, I think I went wrong there. Or actually it's this, and I can go back to it.
Have you ever started a story you couldn't finish for whatever reason? Yes. A few. Most of the stories that get unfinished because they get put aside for some reason. And when I go back to them years later, I go, oh my gosh, I had a story in this notebook, but I got halfway through. I have no idea what happened, what was ever going to happen next. And you just sort of put it aside. The only story that I ever really knew at the point I knew what I was doing, just started and didn't finish, was a story called How the Marquis Got His Coat Back, which was an Everway story. And I'd been asked for a story by Robert Silverberg, an anthology called Legends. And a fan had given me this beautiful book, a notebook, with handmade paper, crushed rose petals in the paper. And I thought, oh writing. So I got out my beautiful fountain pen, sat down to start writing, and discovered, as I wrote, that there is a problem. Crushed rose petals in paper. Every time a crushed rose petal hit the nib of the fountain pen, hit the crushed rose petal. It was bad, it was ugly. I was cleaning up, and I managed 3 pages, and I thought, I'm not writing this anymore. And I put it down, and instead of just taking that story somewhere else, I wrote the shadow story, Monica the Glen, instead. And because I was so grumpy, I think it was fun. What has been your greatest challenge as a writer? I don't know. Great question. I really, really don't know. I think the great thing about my life and career is there's never been one thing that I looked at as a huge challenge. I mean, this is going to be different. It's little mountains, and you climb them one at a time. And I guess, if you're going to get down to that point, the greatest challenge, my greatest challenge as a writer, is A, writing, and B, putting down the next word. Because that's the thing that isn't glamorous. It's not glamorous sitting at a desk. It's not glamorous going, what is the next word? In a lot of the ways, and it's the one thing that people never talk about. They talk about stories, but they don't really talk about words. And as a writer, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen a dry stone wall. Dry stone walls are walls that they tend to build in places where they don't have many trees, where they want hedges to have some kind of keep sheep on one side or cattle. And they build them dry stone, which means you just get a load of stones and you build a wall that high out of stones. And you do it by picking the right, you know the rules, but you're picking the right shape stone to go next. And you build these things that are absolutely amazing. And you look at them and you go, how does that stand up? And how does that they're building for miles. And they're real walls. And it was just done by somebody putting a stone in, another stone there. And that's how you write a novel. That's how you become a writer. It's just that thing. If you go and find the next stone and put it down, it has to be in the same right place, and it will hold.